Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, my mic wasn't on. Thank you for letting me know that. So I will begin again. So I what I said was I'm kind of giving you ideas on starting notebooks if you don't. It's on writing, not just starting notebooks, giving you ideas on how to begin writing if you don't know where to start. And the first notebook I suggested was this guided notebook. You want to start with like guided notebooks. And the great thing about guided notebooks is they kind of help you with the questions. You don't have to begin a thought process yourself. It helps you with the questions, and you just go through answering the specific questions. Also, with a question notebook like this, it's such a short response, and you don't have to go through this notebook page by page. I would suggest that you sit down and you take the time to look through the notebook and decide which questions you want to answer. Because when I'm working in this notebook, I don't go through this page by page. I just look through it, decide which questions I may want to answer at the time, and that's the ones I work on. And I also mentioned that if you come across a question that you find quite interesting, but you don't have a response for it at the time, just tab it. You can put a tab here, and you go back to it. And when you have an answer that you feel that's kind of suitable or that you're happy with, then you go ahead on and go back to it and put it in your notebook. Thank you, Jillian. Um, Also, this one is also a guided notebook, but it gives you more of a thinking space because it'll ask you a question and look like I opened to the same page I read before. Who were the new friends you added to your life and how did you meet them? So on this page, you will have to sit down and figure out a whole paragraph on, okay, the friends that I had or new friends that I made throughout my life. And this one is more of a sentiment that you would pass on to your grandchildren, and there's some for mothers, or you can, if you're a younger person and you want your parent to understand you more, do the same thing. You can kind of put down questions about yourself and answer the questions, and then this would be like a kind of like a gift for someone to get to know you better or understand you better, and it would you'll feel satisfactory about it because you completed it, you answered the questions, and you feel like you accomplished something by completing the book. And it's the same thing with this one. This one is also a guided journal. This one is like a encyclopedia of me, A to Z topics. I think that this is a kind of unique one because it gives you in alphabetical order different things that would relate to you and your life. Genetic. What can I tell you? And then you finish it off, about genetics, family genetics or whatever, kindness. So it just gives you little things about that you would think of about yourself, and it's A to Z about me, how you feel on each topic or word. Oh, thank you, Jillian. That is so sweet. I'm gonna read that out. So Jillian Ortez says, you immediately look and feel like my new role model. I want to be a better woman. Thank you for being who you are. Even though I don't know you, I can tell and feel you have a heart to help. Thank you, Jillian. I do appreciate that. That is exactly what I want to express. You know, you are having those days, and then all of a sudden, God puts an angel in your path to encourage you to thank you. I really appreciate that, Jillian, and I do hope that whatever you feel that you want to do in order to encourage yourself to do better, I hope that I am helping you in order to do that. I really do appreciate that. So this one is a freedom journal. So this one is, I would say this is the journal that would have you more committed. This one will make you more accountable to actually journaling, because this is a 100-day journal. So at the end of the 100 days, it's also a guided journal, but you have to commit yourself to this journal for 100 days. And this would help you, something like this would also help get you into like a regular writing process, a regular writing practice. And then this is also another guided journal. And this one also has like images and different things in that. And small things like that help. So when you have things like this, things that you find aesthetically beautiful, it would help you want to pick it up a little more. And this one has more, I would say, of quotes at the bottom. Instead of contorting yourself to fit into the frustrated and griping world of others, offer the seeking offer those seeking something more beautiful the opportunity to find refuge within your world. Instead of being influenced, become an influencer. Instead of trying to dominate others, awaken in them the desire for their own higher nature. So something like that, that's pretty much a quote that's at the bottom. And you can kind of write your feelings on the quote, even if you want to just write something totally different, you still have that inspirational quote at the bottom. So it could kind of go both ways. You're writing either what you want, or you can read the quote that's at the bottom and write your reflections on what you think about that quote that's at the bottom of the page. So then there are things like planners. So if you use some of your notebooks up as planners, this is my 2023-2024 planner. So this one is complete. This is not the one that I'm working in this year. So if you commit some of your notebooks to planners, that would also inspire you to a daily practice of writing, because you have like little small sections that you are blocking out for each day that you're filling in. And also in this notebook, I do more than just planning. I take different notes in here. I take quotes down in here. I write on different subjects in here. More notes that I write in here. ideas for videos that I want to do. So this is more like a commonplace book. And I call this like my brain. For any thoughts I have, I kind of jot down in here things that I don't want to forget. Things I know I want to do, don't want to forget, I'll jot them down in there. This one kind of started off as a journal. And this is another thing I wanted to mention, how adding different ephemera and stuff like that to your pages, how it makes your journaling much more interesting and much more fun. So you can take things like I tear paper up, something as simple as this, and you may want to glue it down. You can write something on here, or you can tear it down and glue a picture over the side. You can write on the side what the picture is about, and it kind of helps make things a little more fun also. Then there's colorful paper like this. It's just a pretty piece of paper, right? And you tear it up, edit in spots in your book, and it makes it more interesting. You can, again, use this as a background for a photo or something like that. And it'll help you have more fun and be a little more interested in using your notebooks. So, like I said, this one kind of started off as an art journal, different things like that. I was having fun doing a lot of that in there. But then it turned into, if this is something that you are interested in doing, it turned into my sketchbook. So toward the back is where I stopped writing, and then I began using it as more of a sketchbook. And these are some of them are still idea sketches. Everything in here is not a completed beautiful sketch yet, because I'll sketch down different ideas that I have and then go back on them and finish them. But it's another way to help you use up notebooks that you have. And even if you feel like, okay, I'm not that great of a sketcher, do it anyway, because then, if with daily practice, you will become better. And it's also something that you can look back on as you improve. You can write your dates on them. That's a good purpose of writing dates on everything you do. And then you go back, and as you improve, you can go back and look on where you started from. So then we have journals that are, I'll check that in a minute. So then we have journals that will be based off of like specific topics. And then for stuff like that, I like to use my little traveler's notebook style journals. You have the little small insert journals here. So this one is actually this is a gratitude journal, and I started this journal last year with a YouTuber on here, Dina Bryant. She kind of gave us the idea to just do a full gratitude journal. Now, I've done them before, but sometimes you just kind of put that type of stuff off, and she jumped into that, and that was May. Yeah, it had to be May of last year. And I noticed that I use this consistently. I use it consistently up until, and for your gratitude journal, you're just jotting down little things that you are grateful for. That's basically what it is. And you kind of block out space for each day to do that. And I used it consistently up until August of last year. So I noticed I put September here. And I was planning to do September, but I stopped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put September. I leave September, but I'll put 2025, and I'm going to continue on with this for, it should hold me for maybe another 3 months or so. So September, October, maybe till November. I don't think it'll go until December, but I'll see. And then this is kind of like a study notebook where you can study notebook or reading journal. So this is basically different things I may be reading on, and I'll take notes on different things that I'm reading on and looking at the highlight. That's another thing I wanted to mention. Your writing tools makes the experience make the experience all more pleasurable for you. This pen, this is my favorite pen. I did a whole video on this pen. I purchased this pen from Dollar Tree, and it's one that I use consistently. French. Are you asking if I speak French? So this is one that I use consistently throughout. I use other ones, but that's my favorite notebook to use. And your writing tool can actually encourage you to write more, because you will, for me, I can't say for everyone, it helps me enjoy the feeling of my pen gliding across the paper. So that alone, I've always loved writing, but that alone, it helps me love the experience even more. And using things like highlighters. Highlighters will kind of liven up the experience, because if there's key things in anything that you're writing that you want to remember, you highlight that specific area that you're writing on. And lately, I have been enjoying like the more muted highlighters. So I'm using these more in my planner. I still use these because there is a place for the bold highlighter, but I'm enjoying the more muted tones much better. Okay, so another journal that would focus on like one specific topic is, you can put a journal together about all of your favorite, trying to make sure I didn't put my, because sometimes I put my phone number in my book. So you can put a journal together about all of your favorite things. Like, and what I mean by that is, you can clip out a picture of your favorite actor, write about it. Hey, Kim, how are you? You can clip out a picture of something about your favorite actor, or you can your favorite composer, your favorite book. So this book will contain everything that you find that you really, really like. Your favorite coffee, your favorite drink, your favorite place to eat. So this will kind of be a record of everything that you really, really enjoy doing. And what's important about that is that sometimes those things change. So I'm about to be 50 years old. So I can look back on old notebooks and see what my favorite food was 25 years ago, and all the way to today, because my palate has definitely changed from 25 years ago. Like now, I can eat some steamed rice with a piece of baked salmon and an avocado, and I that's what I love. I love stuff like that. Back then, when I was younger, I may have said something like fried chicken and fries or something like that, and now that's something that I would hardly touch. So that's why that's another thing that it's kind of, I find it kind of important to take note of things like that. Hey mom, how are you? I wanted to try to hurry up and do this and jump off so I could call and talk to you. I said I need to call my mom today. You know, you have that feeling when you haven't called your mom in a while. So yeah, that's another kind of, I would say, guided journal, but based on a specific topic. And then I also have this one will kind of be the same because this is a topic journal. So in this notebook, I would write down different something that I want to write on in a lighter color at the top, like blue, and then go ahead on and write on that specific subject. So that's another idea. And it's kind of like not journaling about your day, but finding things that you want to talk about. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to jump in and keep it. I wanted it to be like maybe 20 minutes, but already way past that. But I'm going to be getting off in a minute though. So then I also have here composition books. If you feel intimidated by, the fact that you may not be able to get the journal that you want, you can use something as simple as composition books. And not only am I an artist, but I am also right now a non-practicing writer. So this is actually a book that I started writing years ago, and I put it down. And you can use something like something as simple as a composition book for something like that. This is another one, and this one I think I was kind of writing a life story or something. So I always had to have something that I was writing on. And to prove that I am a writer, this is a book that one of my poems was published in 1993, and when I was in high school. This one is a poem that was dedicated to my grandmother, and it's called Remembering Someone Special. I remember a lady and her beautiful smiling face. Now I'm thinking to myself, no one could take her place. I remember a church and a beautiful singing voice. Now I'm thinking to myself, this is my grandmother's voice. I remember a kitchen and the wonderful smells that were in it. Now I'm thinking to myself, what was the reason to end it? I remember one dark night and a lot of people crying. Now I'm thinking to myself, it was because of my grandmother's dying. I remember asking myself, why did you have to go? Now I'm thinking to myself, I'm older now, I know. Grandma, you were special to me. You understood all of my cries, but I'm sorry, I can only remember you through a baby's eyes. So I wrote that when I was in high school, and I received honorable mention for it. So I've always had a passion for writing, which brings me to these notebooks. This beat up notebook here is my daily journal, and it's almost time for me to start a new daily journal. So, and the one thing I love, so the covers of it, the minimalist style of it, and the way the covers feel, I love. The one downfall about this specific notebook is because it is so minimal, it kind of tends to have spots where it falls apart. Well, it hasn't completely fell apart on me, but it is starting to. But I would say as for as long as I've been using it, it has held up for me pretty great. And I often, like, if I want to carry it to work with me in order to protect it, I just put it inside of my notebook cover. I secure it in better, but I'll just put it inside of my notebook cover now instead of just throwing it in my bag, and I carry it that way so that I will cause less damage to it. I am going to take the spines and everything to it. So this one, this is a notebook that I created. Yeah, I have to kind of cover up some of my information in there. I created this notebook, and you can see the name of it. And this is your place to kind of vent about things that, you know, frustrate you or whatever, because everybody needs a place to vent sometimes. And then lastly, I have this notebook. So this notebook is a notebook that you can dedicate to someone special, like like my grandmother. This notebook, I actually sit and I write letters to my grandmother in this book. I'm not going to really fully open it, but I write letters to my grandmother in this specific notebook. And if someone in your life has passed on, a grandmother, a parent, a child, anyone, it will kind of help you feel a little more connected to that person because you're dedicating time out of your day to actually talk to that person in a sense. So I hope that this was helpful, guys. I have to go ahead on and get out of here. Sorry about that mic loss that I had. And I want to say maybe about the first 5 minutes of the video. But if you want to stay connected with me, just make sure you're subscribed. Right now, my lives are not scheduled. They're just random. But I will come up with a time that I do want to schedule them. So I'm going to go ahead on and get out of here. And until next time, guys.